Yeah, hi guys, Peter back for yet another video. I'm going to do an album review today. I might have done this a very long time ago, but it's an album I've been listening to a bit lately, an old album, and I thought it'd be an interesting review to do. So it is from 1970, the third studio album by Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin 3. There's that cover with that pinwheel, that rotating wheel in there, and changes the phase. Everyone knows about that. This is from 1970, and it's a sort of a bit of a departure for them. About 43 minutes in length, 10 tracks. Of course, everyone knows the band: Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, John Bonham, and a very acoustic-driven album a lot of the time. So we'll go through the tracks and we'll see what we think of the album. And everybody, please, tell me what you think of all things Led Zeppelin and of this album in particular. Okay, now it starts off with Immigrant Song. Love this one. One of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, in my top 10, most definitely. Magical riff, very dynamic. And it's not a really long track. It's just under 2.5 minutes, but really makes an impact. It's so catchy and infectious, I would say. And one of the well-known songs from this album. Just a great, it just takes you in immediately. For me anyhow, I just love the catchiness of it. The vocals from Plant are quite dynamic in this, and the riff is amazing. Just a great rocking track, and just one of the great rock songs for me. I love this one, Immigrant Song. So it's a great start to the album. Then you got Friends. Now, Friends is quite an interesting track, a very acoustic driven. It's got a bit of a, how should I say it, a bit of a sinister sound to it, ominous sort of sound. But it's quite different. It's sort of a bit, how could I say, creepy maybe in a way, the sound of it. I guess so. And but it's a great song. It's a great song. I love Friends. It's not my favorite song on the album, but I have a lot of love for it. I just like that feel of it, and of the song. And it's coming after Immigrant Song. So that's a great start to the album. So there's two great songs. Then you got Celebration Day. It's a rock song. Starts with that guitar work from Jimmy Page. And it's got quite a frantic pace. And a really good rock song, Celebration Day. I really like it. I think it's one of their early really good rockers. Yeah, really good song, Celebration Day. Then we get Since I've Been Loving You. Now, this is very heavy on the blues, like 7 minutes or so. But the vocal is amazing from Plant on this one. Really amazing. Great playing from the band, Page especially. Yeah, look, I'm not, sometimes with the Led Zeppelin slow bluesy stuff, I don't always really take it in. Like You Shook Me, I'm not a real big fan of that song from the earlier album. But this one really makes it for me. It's really great, and it's very, how should I say, it's very dynamic, his vocals, when he gets those high notes towards the end of the song. But I love this one. I always loved Since I've Been Loving You. It's a really great track. Now, next is one of the most underrated Zeppelin songs, Out on the Tiles. Very nice riff. A good vocal from Plant, a bit sing-songy, which I like, actually, that sing-along vibe. I reckon if you're picking 10 underrated Led Zeppelin songs, this would be one of them, for me anyhow. So that concludes side one. Now, I have to say, if you're talking vinyl, that side one is one of the strongest Led Zeppelin sides. A really strong side. When you take all those songs in to it, there's probably not something you could skip over there. Skip one of those songs, you wouldn't, for me anyhow. So that's a great side. Then we go into Gallows Pole, which is a bit rock and acoustic driven. A song that I've never really loved it. I like it. I don't dislike it, but it's a good track without being a great track for me. But it's quite acoustic driven again, but it's got a bit of a rock feel to it. And yes, I'd say that's a good song for me anyhow. Now this one is another. Next one is a very underrated Zeppelin song, Tangerine. Just a beautiful track, the way the melody of it. Just love that. And a nice vocal from Plant again. He's really in these early albums. His voice is so good. Um, Later on, the voice sort of sounds you're getting around Physical Graffiti Tom, which is a great album, but you can feel the bit of wear creeping into the voice. Probably all that years of live shows and singing, of course. But Tangerine, go back to Tangerine, a very memorable track and another great underrated Zeppelin song. It's a great song. Then That's the Way. Now, this one gets more, there's another acoustic song, very nice melody again, but and vocal from Plant, but and great acoustic playing from Page. But this one gets more of a, has got more of a name than Tangerine. But I prefer Tangerine as a song. I still like That's the Way. It's quite a good song for me without, but I prefer Tangerine, just a personal tasting, but a good song. Then you get Bron Your Stomp. Is again very acoustic driven, but a bit more oomph to it, I guess. I like this one. I like Bron Your Stomp. It's a good track, fits in well with the album. It's a very good track. Now, there was one more song to talk about, but before I do that, I just like to say there is many acoustic things in it. You get rock songs. You got Immigrant Song, Out on the Tiles. You got Celebration Day. But a lot of it is acoustic driven, which but it's the songs that matter. If you like the song, doesn't matter what sort of song it is. But now, last song, hats off to Roy Harper. Very, very bluesy with that guitar. Never been one of my favorite Zeppelin songs. And I heard the album again recently, and still, that'd bring up the tail. If I was ranking the songs, that'd be near the end, quite at the end probably. But it is what it is. It fits in okay with the album, but not one of the strong songs for me. Hats off to Roy Harper. So there you have the album, guys. Now, as far as where I put this in, I haven't done a Led Zeppelin ranking for quite some time, which I will do again. But this has always been a top 4 album for me. If it's not, it could get to number 3. It's sort of like that, but it's probably number 4 or so, around that area. But a great, great album by the guys. Then after this, they went on to Zep 4 and House of the Holy and Physical Graffiti, which from 1 to 6, people usually say is their golden period, I would say. But I do like Presence and In Through the Outdoor, the later album, and even Coda, some of the tracks on that. But let's go from my 3 favourite songs now from this album. I have, should I do it in no particular order? I'll just pick 3 tracks. No particular order. I have to go as a big pick, Immigrant Song. It's never fails to surprise me. It's just a great song. After that, you're looking at, I would say, I have to go Since I've Been Loving You. Although I'm not big on some of the slow blues stuff, this one is phenomenal. So, and the vocal is amazing. So Since I've Been Loving You, these are no particular order, guys, but that'd be another pick. And I'm going to go Tangerine for the 3rd pick. So, yeah, but there's other great songs as well. But I would say, if you're talking vinyl, the first side of the album is stronger than the second side. Second side is a couple of tracks, for me, that I've already talked about. Not as good as some of the other tracks, but by and large, the album flows beautifully and so on and so forth. So I'm going to give this a score out of 10 now. I'm going to give this a pretty high score for me. I reckon it's an excellent album, 9 out of 10. Just those couple of songs on the second half of the album are a bit down for me, but by and large, hits the mark most of the time. So 9 out of 10 for Led Zeppelin 3, and there it is here. If you haven't heard it, most Zepp fans would know this like the back of their hand, but there it is. Led Zeppelin 3 gets a 9 out of 10 from me. And I just heard it this morning, again for the umpteenth time, but just before the video, and it is screaming a 9 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. There you go. Could be a 10, but I'm going to go 9. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below all things Led Zepp and any other band. And if you want to do a request, I'm pretty good with requests, but sometimes a bit slow. But do a request anyhow. And comment and subscribe. I'll be interested to see what you think of the album. Bye for now, guys. Bye.